Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to YDK with Lily. I just came on here briefly just to read a couple of emails that my brother sent and get off real quick. There's so much going on in the YouTube streets that I'm just going to do this and I'm out of here. Okay. The first one is medications. It was sent January 12th, of course, of this year at 6:34 a.m. and 43 seconds. It says, for the last 3 years, I've been off and on trying different medications to help me deal with my anxiety while being incarcerated. Just try to stop myself from stressing so much and keep from mentally breaking down. And God knows I'm trying really hard to prevent that from happening. But there's no medication in the whole entire world that can help me stop thinking and stressing about what the BOP disciplinary hearing officer did to me when she stole all of my private restricted phone calls and emails and gave it to the YouTube blogger Tasha K. When she and everybody knows that Tasha K makes her money and get followers off of sharing information, especially information on celebrities. So this BOP officer knew exactly what she was doing, and she knew exactly what blogger Tasha K was going to do with my private information. And even if she didn't know, because it was private information of mine, and that I had an ongoing high profile case, she had to have known the possibilities as to what Tasha K could do with my information. And still, she gave it to the blogger Tasha K regardless. I am sick and I am trying my very best to hold it together and just trying to heal. But the unfortunate truth is, there's no medication that can cure corruption. P.S. God bless everybody. Robert S. Kelly. The reason you guys see me reading it off of a paper because I actually printed it out because it was more than one. And you actually heard that one yesterday during Dottie's celebration, but I wanted to read it here also. The next one came today, January 14th at 2:34 p.m. and 43 seconds, and it says, what is the point? It's titled Sun Times. What is the point of making a statement in the Chicago Sun-Times paper on September 8, 2021, letting the public know that back in 2019, a BOP disciplinary hearing officer, whom the government is calling Officer A, had illegally accused, oh, I'm sorry, had illegally assessed all of my restricted government law enforcement information and shared it with the YouTube blogger Tasha K. Tell the people that no charges were brought against the BOP officer A and that there was an ongoing investigation into the matter. But then they never make a follow-up statement as to what happened with the investigation to me nor the public. Not even my attorneys till this day in 2023, 4 years later, have been given closure to this supposed to be ongoing investigation. Me and my attorneys are now being denied of having full disclosure of the investigation in which raises major concerns about the whole BOP officer A matter. The same the same way it should be raising major concerns with court concerning this BOP officer A stealing federal law enforcement information of mine and giving it to a blogger, Tasha K, who boldly said it out of her own mouth that she shared all my restricted law enforcement information with government witnesses, and not just any witness, but the star witness in my New York case. The BOP officer A committed these crimes back in 2019, and Special Agent Matt, I want to say Lou, it's Lous, executed the search warrant on BOP officers A's desktop computer in 2020 while I was being detained in MCC Chicago, which is Metropolitan Correctional Center, and had not yet gone to trial in New York. So that means the BOP was aware of Officer A's crime back in 2019, 2020, when I went to trial in New York Now, if the BOP knew about Officer A's crimes since 2019, 2020, 2021, the prosecution in my New York case had to have also known about Officer A's crimes against me. They also had to have known about Officer A's sharing my restricted law enforcement information with the blogger Tasha K back in 2019 when it was first discovered and reported to the BOP and Internal Affairs by a BOP employee. The search warrant talks about the criminal activity going on between BOP Officer A and blogger Tasha K, and that search warrant was executed in 2020, way before I had gone to New York for trial. However, they flew me out for a trial that I feel should have been stopped until a full investigation was done, not only on BOP Officer A, but also on blogger Tasha K. The trial was 6 weeks, but it was 3 weeks before my verdict when the prosecutors informed my lawyers about an employee leaking some of my private information on the internet, but the prosecutors didn't go into detail. They just told my attorneys that it was being investigated. That's when I asked my attorneys if my trial was going to be stopped until the investigation was done. My attorneys at that time said the judge wasn't going to stop the trial. Now, again, this was back in 2021. The trial continues on, and I get found guilty and sentenced to 30 years. And then 2 months later, I find out that it was just not some BOP employee, but it was a BOP disciplinary hearing officer, a judge for the BOP. I found out that this BOP judge illegally accessed all my restricted information 153 times within a 6 month period in 19. Then she sent a 12-page scan to her own personal Gmail account and shared all my restricted private information with YouTube blogger Tasha K. Then here comes the blogger Tasha K saying she shared all of that restricted information with prosecutors in the New York case. The prosecutors knew all about this BOP Officer A and Tasha K's crimes against me back in 2019 and did not let me or my attorneys know about it until 3 weeks before my verdict. And now, here in 2023, 4 years later, according to my attorney, the prosecutors have denied me the conclusion of the investigation concerning the BOP Officer A and blogger Tasha K. What are these people hiding? Who are they protecting? This is a federal crime that was committed against me. So why am I being denied the closure of the investigation concerning that federal crime? What was the purpose of telling my lawyer back in 2021, 3 weeks before my verdict, that it was being investigated if they were not going to disclose the full investigation to my attorneys in the first place? What I want to know is, how can there be a federal crime committed against me by a BOP officer and a blogger, which is what the search warrant shows, and I nor my attorneys are allowed to know the outcome of the investigation on the matter? If I'm the one whose federal law enforcement information was stolen and shared by the BOP Officer A, then that makes me a victim in this matter, which is why I should know the full disclosure of the investigation. Or did they investigate this matter for it to be shared only amongst themselves? The only way I can see them not wanting to disclose the results of the full investigation at this point is because it will expose something that could help me and my attorneys with my cases. Because my restricted law enforcement information is just as important as every other protected piece of restricted law enforcement information with the courts, this is why it's called restricted in the first place. And my private restricted phone calls and emails being stolen by a BOP officer who worked for the government, and her sharing that information with a YouTube blogger who then shares it with the government's star witness, that information is just as important as the investigation they opened up on me. So let's not pretend otherwise. What was done to me by the mysterious BOP Officer A and blogger Tasha K was egregiously wrong. And forgive me if I said that word or chopped it up. It was so illegal, it is unbelievable. And there's also a link that you guys can go to see where his rights and what he is speaking on was violated. That was January. Again, that may have been read on Dottie's channel last night, but I'm reading it here again. Lastly, this is very short. It says, let me be clear. Today, January 14th, 2023 at 2:37 p.m. and 13 seconds. Let me be clear. Tasha K did not say she shared my private information with the prosecutors in my case in New York, but she said she shared it with the prosecutor's star witness in my New York case. So that is basically what he wants you guys to know, and that is basically what he is trying to get out there, those particular messages to you all. And somebody out there, I know people say, well, why is he telling us? Well, I look at it like this. Somebody out there could know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that is in a position, that's in a position, that's in a higher position, that's in a higher position, that could actually get something done about this for him. Okay. He is crying out. You heard on Dottie's channel the other night where it was stated that he feels like, I don't even know if it was on her channel, but whoever channel was on, where he said he feels like he is in a casket kicking. Well, who wants to feel like that? I mean, you or some of us that have what do you call it, claustrophobia, we don't want to be in closed in areas because it affects us and our breathing in as well. So just imagine how he feels. Okay. And it saddens me. It hurts me to have claim on and these type of things to you guys. But again, this is his way of getting it out there. This is his way of reaching out to someone. This is his way of having what he has to say to be heard. It does not matter who brings it first. It does not even matter who brings it. The fact of the matter is that it gets brought. That's all that matters. We, as individuals that call ourselves so-called supporters in the family of Robert Sylvester Kelly Sr., aka Kellz, my godbrother, we have to stop fighting amongst each other. It is not doing him any good. The gates are not being opened. The chains are not being broken from him, and he is not walking out a free man. If there's anything that we, our family, anybody, a friend's friend, anyone that we know and we are networking with that can get something done, please, by all means, reach out to them. Explain the situation. As Darina was saying before about getting a template together, whatever. I'm not in the legalities of this kind of stuff. So I do what I do behind the scenes, and that's it. That's all. And what I'm doing, I'm praying and I am standing and believing that it will manifest itself to come true and that my brother will walk out of those gates. Those chains will be broken. I am standing on that. I am believing that, and I will not stop believing it. And I believe within my whole heart, body, and soul that he will come home. And I'm praying more sooner than later. But right now, if it's something that we can do, we need to do it. If it's something that you know somebody else can do, you need to talk to them so that they can do it. It has to be done. Nothing else needs to be said on our parts as far as Robert Sylvester Kelly Sr., aka Kellz, is concerned. Nothing except for the fact that he is crying out, speaking out, and wanting our help. He is asking for our help through his emails, and that is what we need to take in account of. We need to take in account that he is reaching out to us so that we can reach out to somebody. I've shared with you his emails, the emails that he has emailed. Hey, it's not about who believes, who doesn't believe. It's about who does. Okay. So when I say who does, that means who get the work done. I don't mean who does believe and who doesn't believe. That would be contradictory. So I'm not saying that. I'll clear that up because I'm far from being a dummy. May have memory issues, but I'm not a dummy. Anyway, that's it. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about Robert Sylvester Kelly Sr., aka Kellz. And if you believe in his freedom and him getting justice and him coming home, you will fight. Fight with your sword when it comes of people coming against you. Fight with your sword. That's your Bible and God's word. But any other time, when you're fighting for him, fight with humbleness, but fight with your mouth, because that is what he's speaking out with his mouth. And he needs you to use yours to help him get vindicated and be out of there. I love you. I thank you for tuning in to YDK with Lily. There's nothing you can do about me loving you. If it is, it wouldn't matter anyway, because it wouldn't stop anything on this end. And I'm out.